Recently, I've been getting a lot of questions about why women are drawn to so-called bad guys. You know what? Let's break it down. So, why are a lot of women drawn to bad guys? In order to answer that question, we must first understand the definition of a bad guy. But before we go into that, let's talk a little bit about the good guy. Who is the good guy and what defines him as one? By answering that, we can come to the conclusion of what needs to be done to become less of a good guy. Well, you might ask, why less? I mean, doesn't everyone want to be good? Absolutely. But we must consider that everybody is good in their own minds. The truth is that good men know that they would do just about anything to please their counterparts. And it's not a bad thing, right? But the problem here is that it doesn't leave any space for the women or the woman he's trying to get with to feel that it's stimulating for her as well. She doesn't get that chance. Now, imagine you got one woman with this good guy scenario and multiply this by 1,000 times. Then it's not really that fun anymore, is it? Because now you have 1,000 guys willing to do the same thing for this woman. And that leaves the woman they're trying to score with a lot of choices. Ultimately, if you're trying to score, leaving the woman with choices is a really bad thing. So, one day that woman that you were hitting on and trying to be the perfect man with, the perfect everything to, encounters a guy that is quite the opposite of the good guy. He's the type to look after himself, he doesn't need to prove shit, and he's willing to argue against any argument any man or woman tries to throw at him. You see, this guy doesn't really give a shit how things turn out because he's used to talking to a lot of women, he's used to seeing through their bullshit, has a high ego, is very selfish. He's probably what most good guys would think of as an asshole. They would think, why would she even talk to or date that guy? Well, the answer is quite simple. A so-called bad guy leaves a lot to the mystery for a lot of women. He's often quite a big narcissist, grandiose sense of self-importance. He's self-serving, selfish, lacks empathy and devalues others. And it gets quite interesting even though they have many choices. It's just something about this guy. It provides them with an appealing illusion to the woman's fantasies of what she really wants, making her panties sweat. Irresistible. Now, but you get the point. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that all bad guys score because they don't. It's more complicated than that. There are different levels, variations, and in the end, it all comes down to their performance and, of course, the woman's preferences. Statistically, however, if you would compare the good guy with the bad guy is most likely going to score more often than the good one, and it's just the way it is. So that's just a small example. Now let's take it to an elementary level. Say that you have children one day and you bring home some candy. You give the children candy because you want to please them and see them happy. All of a sudden, they start asking you for more and more. And every time you give them candy, they get less and less grateful. And it becomes more of an expectation rather than an action of pure love and kindness. They walk away with the candy only to come back for more. But one day you run out of candy. Now, what happens when you run out of candy? Well, you're no longer valuable. And it's the same principle when you introduce yourself to someone. You want to make a great impression. Give them as little as possible from yourself, but at the same time be able to show that you have so much more to give. This is sufficient enough to keep things interesting. Now, the biggest mistake a good guy makes is that he gives everything he has at once, making it very easy for the woman he's trying to get with to make a choice. The woman is then forced to either reject or friend zone him out of pure pity, and that's not a situation someone wants to be in. From their end, it may be translated as pure desperation, and that automatically makes you look like a weak, low-value male. I will make a video on the differences between high and low-value males and what changes you can make in your life to become more of an attractive, high-value person. And that, my friends, was everything for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great one.